This is a quickie that I wanted to address because it betrays some of the most toxic and absurd radical feminist ideas and proves that those people just have no clue what they're talking about. In that, they're a lot like religious apologists. The most common comment that I get on my apologetics videos is that the theist is ridiculously ignorant, yet there really is no difference between these crazed feminists and the crazed God-botherers. Both don't understand their claims. Both use false data and outright lies to support their ideas, and both pretend that the world is out to get them. So let's take a gander at some more first world feminist fucknuttery, shall we?
Hello everybody, Claudia Berlin here, and welcome to my feminist thought of the week.
Unfortunately, it's probably the only thought she's had all week, and she even gets this one wrong. No surprise there, I guess.
Today's feminist thought video is titled Turning the Tables. I'm talking about that scary thing that anti-feminist men do when they say that you don't want equality, you just want to turn the tables. And that's especially scary because in that statement they're basically admitting that they know at the moment the system is wrong, that it's unequal, that men are privileged over women and that women are having a really shitty time and other genders are having a really shitty time, although, you know, a lot of those people probably wouldn't acknowledge other genders. But they're acknowledging the inequality and their problem is not that there's inequality and that loads of us have an absolutely shitty time within this patriarchal system. Oh no, their issue is, what if one day we switched the system round so that women were at the top and men were at the bottom?
I love how she thinks that only men can be anti-feminist, ignoring the fact that there are lots of women who can't stand modern first world radical feminism either. Oh, but those women are just brainwashed by men, right? No woman could ever be against feminism. But no, not so much, sorry. Then she goes on to say that turning the tables automatically acknowledges that men know that the current system is wrong. Again, that's incorrect. I'll admit that, in the past, the system was absolutely stacked in favor of men. That is not the case today. In fact, if anything, it's stacked in favor of women instead. There are lots of rad-fems who desperately want to push men further down the totem pole. In fact, there are hyper-radicals out there who want to eliminate men altogether. But no, Claudia can't see past her indoctrination. She thinks that not wanting to flip the tables is an admission of a grand patriarchal conspiracy. You know, that thing feminists can't actually demonstrate exists, but spend all their time talking about. It's kind of like God when you think about it. It has zero evidence, but adherents are absolutely certain it's got to be there.
What sort of a selfish concern is that? Like, never mind that there are people right now that are going through shit because of the patriarchy. Just so long as it's not you, eh, guys? Really though, I see a lot of anti-feminist men, and a lot of men in general, getting really worried about feminism because they say it's misandry and it's man-hating and it's wanting to subjugate men and put men in the system where women are now, and it really is scary because they are afraid of that happening. They're frightened of it happening. The very thought of the system turning, of the tables turning, so that women are on the top and men are on the bottom, it makes them angry, it makes them scared, and yet they can't comprehend why we have a problem with the system as it is.
What patriarchy is this? Where's your evidence? Oh yeah, you have none. No surprise there. The more I listen to this shit, the more convinced I am that this is just a religion to these radical feminists. They operate exactly, repeat exactly, the same way that fundamentalists do. They have a severe persecution complex, and they make a ton of empty claims that cannot be rationally justified. They just have blind and fanatical faith that it must be true. I'd love to see her actually produce evidence for her claims. Where are these supposed women-hating men who are afraid of feminism? Produce them. Man up, Claudia. Well, all right. Woman up, Claudia. Do something. But we all know she won't because she's incapable. And again, she pretends that only women think feminism is a bunch of man-hating nonsense. Sorry, here's proof that she's wrong. You might even notice a similarity in accents.
The more I've spoken about feminism, the more I have realized that fighting for women's rights has too often become synonymous with man-hating.
No, scratch that, they can comprehend why we have a problem, they just literally don't care. Just to set the record straight, we feminists don't want to turn the tables. We want to bash those current rubbish tables up with a bat and replace them with far more comfortable, accessible furniture for all. We're not here to switch roles within the patriarchy, therefore creating a matriarchy. We want to get rid of a system which privileges one gender over all the others. So the message of this video is to be very, very careful of men who want to call you evil because you apparently want to substitute the male gender's superiority for the superiority of the female gender. They're admitting they see a problem, but they're also admitting that they don't care so long as they benefit from it and we suffer. Food for thought there. Anyway, get smashing those tables. I love you loads and I'll see you soon. Bye!
Speaking of not caring, you clearly don't care about the reality of the situation, as I just proved. It's not men who hate women because they're women. It's all rational people who hate radical feminists because they're idiots. And she doesn't want to replace the current furniture with more comfortable, accessible furniture for all. She only cares about how her own ass feels on the new couch of radical feminism. If she wanted equality for all, she'd be pushing for her own privilege to vanish. She'd be pushing to be rid of female-only college scholarships. She'd be pushing for equality in cancer research. She'd be pushing for equality in child custody and spousal support. She'd be pushing for equality in criminal sentencing guidelines, ensuring that women serve just as much time in prison for the same crimes as men. She doesn't do any of these things, of course. She's just a hypocrite. Nobody's calling her evil because she's a woman. They're calling her evil because of the things she and her cohorts demonstrably support. Actions speak far, far louder than words. As I've said before, I'm an egalitarian. I'm for equality for all in all things, except where specifically impossible due to biology. That means every single thing one person gets, regardless of race, gender, sexual orientation, religion, etc., all other people ought to get that too. That simply isn't what modern feminism wants. It talks a good game, but in the end, it's all just a bunch of posturing and hand-waving, and behind the friendly face some feminists present, they really don't give a damn about equality. I can understand that some people are mad at the injustices of the past, and a lot of that rhetoric is pushed in liberal gender studies programs, pushing carefully crafted lies like the gender pay gap on unsuspecting and unfortunately credulous young minds. But people really have no excuse not to look at the readily available evidence and realize that this radical feminism stuff is just a load of crap. They really don't care though, because to them, just like the theists, it isn't about being factually correct, it's about feeling good and pretending they're superior to everyone around them. Thanks for listening. Comment, like, and subscribe, and tell everyone you know about the channel. I'll be back in a bit with more, so stay tuned.